Terror hits America in the new year. "15 killed in New Orleans attack." Cybertruck explodes in Vegas. Mass shooting in New York. New Year violence and chaos in the United States. That is our top focus on India Today.
Thanks for watching 5 Live. I'm Nabila Jamal. As the world celebrated New Year's, the United States was rocked by triple threats. We're showing that on our screens here. 3 major incidents that occurred across the United States that left many injured and many more killed. Cities of New Orleans, Las Vegas and Queens were hit by deadly attacks. In fact, the FBI now investigating this as an act of terror. Let me break it down for you. A fiery scene that unfolded on New Year's Day right outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, United States, as a Tesla Cybertruck exploded, went into flames, killing one person who was standing right close by with his luggage outside the hotel. It injured 7 others. Shocking revelations have come up, possible links of this attack in Las Vegas with that of New Orleans, which is confirmed to be a terror attack. Of course, is there a larger conspiracy with this coordinated attacks? Let me break that down for you in this report.
A Tesla Cybertruck explodes outside Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. The truck burst into flames, killing 1 and injuring at least 7. It was filled with fuel canisters and firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk labeled the Cybertruck explosion an act of terrorism, alleging a link between the Las Vegas blast and the New Orleans attack. Musk clarified that the truck's explosion wasn't due to Tesla's design, but the dangerous payload carried in its bed. Handout footage from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department revealed scorched canisters inside the wreckage. The explosion happened mere hours after another truck attack in New Orleans killed 15 New Year's Day revelers. Both incidents involved rented vehicles, sparking concerns of coordinated attacks.
Do I think it's a coincidence? I don't know, but what I can tell you is we're absolutely investigating any connectivity to what happened in New Orleans, as well as other attacks that have been occurring around the world. We're not ruling anything out yet, Dana.
President Joe Biden confirmed the FBI is investigating the Las Vegas blast.
We're tracking the explosion of a Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Law enforcement and the intelligence community are investigating this as well, including whether there's any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans. Thus far, there's nothing to report on that score at this time. I directed my team to make sure every resource is made available to federal, state, and local law enforcement to complete the investigation in New Orleans quickly.
The possibility of a terror attack has heightened security alerts nationwide.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
The Trump International Hotel, owned by President-elect Donald Trump, is now at the center of a national security probe. Bureau Report, India Today.
If I take our viewers through here, exactly the 3 places there were attacks suspected to be terror strikes, but that is yet to be established. Of course, we know one of the cases here, New Orleans, the man who literally barged his pickup truck into a crowd on a busy street belongs to the ISIS, and that confirmation has come about. In fact, that truck and that person killed 15 people and injured nearly 30. The other explosion that was reported was right in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. A Cybertruck that exploded, it killed one person who was standing right outside with his luggage and injured at least 7 others. And we know the third attack that happened late last night was Queens, New York City, mass shooting where 11 people were injured. In fact, the person comes out and goes on a rampage, shooting people at sight. Thankfully, there's been no casualties in this, but 11 people have been injured. Now, are these coordinated terror strikes? Raises a lot of questions. United States FBI, of course, at this point, are investigating this as an act of terror. Let me bring in Gaurav Sawant, who's also been tracking the story very closely for us. Gaurav, we're looking at multiple strikes in the United States, a bad start to the new year, and it's shocking that one of those cases, New Orleans, it's established that the man belongs to ISIS, an army veteran who worked with the American army for nearly a decade, joins ISIS, puts out multiple videos of him joining the ISIS and pulls off this attack before he was shot dead. He actually stepped out of his car or his truck and went on a rampage shooting people as the cops gunned him down in time. Give us more on what more do we know if this is all coordinated.
So there are details now available in public domain about Shamsuddin Jabbar. Shamsuddin Jabbar is that US Army veteran who's a veteran of Afghanistan operations. He was there in 2009 and 10. He was a reservist between 15 and 20. The man who's said to be responsible for the New Orleans attack. And this was a planned, well-coordinated attack according to American investigators. Preliminary reports from the US seem to indicate that he not only took that the Ford 150 electric pickup truck on rent, apparently put some improvised explosive devices on it. He wore body armor himself, had weapons, and he deliberately plowed through a group of people and a large group of people early in the morning on New Year's Day. Now, you know this Bourbon Street in New Orleans is popular amongst tourists, and lakhs assemble there each year. So he deliberately plowed his truck through the crowd. At least 15 are confirmed dead, more than 30 are injured. Now, apart from that, he came out of his vehicle and then indiscriminately is alleged to have started shooting at people and at security forces. So the moment an alert went up and security forces, the New Orleans police, they challenged him, they tackled him. He shot at and injured 2 policemen before he was taken down and neutralized. So his videos, some of his videos have come to the fore, where he actually said that he was inspired by the Islamic State. He wanted to not just be a part of ISIS, but also words to the effect that he wanted to kill people. And unfortunately, he succeeded in killing at least 15. Are the other 2 incidents linked or not? Well, the vehicles were hired from the same website in Las Vegas and in New Orleans. That is the only link so far. Other links are still under investigation.
Stay with us, Gaurav. We're looking at multiple videos that have now emerged showing some chilling images from the New Orleans shooting where we saw people ducking, running for cover as this man opened fire indiscriminately after literally ramming his pickup truck into New Year revelers. They were all on the streets. People were on the streets really at celebratory mood when this pickup truck flowed into crowds. 15 people were killed. The cops tried to, of course, chase him, and while he was running, we hear he was shooting. He was shooting at the people who were, anyone who came in front of him. This man goes on a shooting spree, killing them. 15 died, 30 more injured. The cops have, of course, seized that vehicle, and they have found more explosives in that vehicle along with an ISIS flag. Of course, the cops at this point prompting this as a terror attack. They're investigating this in this direction as well. Intention behind the New Orleans terrorist attack has yet to be determined. We're going to take you through a lot more through these images.
As the world ushered in the new year, terror rocked America. A truck rammed through the crowd at a street in New Orleans, leaving 15 dead and dozens injured. The white truck was seen rampaging through the streets, displaying an ISIS flag on its back, evading a police blockade. The vehicle sped through the crowd, plowing into pedestrians. It then made a U-turn and continued to drive at full speed. The situation worsened when the driver exited the truck and began firing at the crowd. The FBI is now investigating the attack as an act of terror and has identified the attacker as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, who was killed in the ensuing gunfight. Jabbar, a US citizen from Texas, had served in the US Army in Afghanistan. The truck used in the attack had a Texas license plate. Along with the ISIS flag, weapons and multiple IEDs were found inside the vehicle. The FBI is investigating his connection to ISIS.
That this particular terrorist drove around onto the sidewalk and got around the hard target, where he did have a car there, we had barriers there, we had officers there, and they still got around.
US President-elect Donald Trump called the attack an act of evil and pledged his administration's full support to the law enforcement agencies. President Joe Biden revealed that the attacker, Jabbar, had posted suspicious videos hours before the attack.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. I directed my team to make sure every resource is made available to federal, state, and local law enforcement.
Even as investigations continued in the New Orleans attack, at least 11 people were killed in a mass shooting at a nightclub in Queens, New York. The police have not yet disclosed the motive or identified suspects. The shooting occurred on New Year's Eve at around 11:20 p.m. near the nightclub. With only a few days remaining before the Trump administration takes over, Donald Trump has vowed to ensure justice for the victims. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me also bring in Shashank Mattu, who's been tracking this story closely. Shashank, what we saw at the Las Vegas hotel, outside Trump Hotel, was shocking. Tesla Cybertruck goes up in flames, and we see and hear from the police itself that there could be links between this Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas and the New Orleans attack. Both could be terror attacks. What do you think prompts the police to believe this is an act of terror?
Well, there are a couple of things that indicate that there may be some links between these two attacks. First of all, of course, that both attackers used vehicles that were hired from the same vehicle hiring app. It's called Turo. So they use the same thing. Both men in question have a military background. Both the gentlemen involved in the Las Vegas attack as well has a military background. Investigative authorities know the name of the attacker, but have not public as yet. But what is known or what is being reported right now is that there is a military background there as well, the same as the attacker in New Orleans as well. So they're using, as well as the fact that the method of attack is also similar, using a vehicle, and both vehicles were also packed with improvised explosive devices, IEDs. So the question now that a lot of investigators are asking is two people with military backgrounds, former military backgrounds, also using fairly similar methods of packing cars with explosive devices, using the same app to hire vehicles as well. So and also picking a very, very popular time of the year when people are out for New Year's. The Super Bowl, which is a very important event for America culturally, was set to happen as well. So they picked the right time, the same method, the same background in some senses, and the same modus operandi. So there are questions about whether these two attacks are linked, in fact.
It's shocking, Shashank, that Tesla truck, the way it exploded outside that Trump hotel, we hear that truck made a couple of rounds and did a recce of sorts before it actually parked up and went off. Do we know if there was a driver sitting inside that truck? In fact, those are the visuals playing on our screens there, the explosion outside Trump hotel. Do we know if the driver was also inside when that vehicle exploded? Because one man standing very close with his luggage died.
Yes, the sense is that the authorities have retrieved a badly burned body. That's what we're hearing at this point in time. That and there is, of course, the identity of the attacker as well. But one badly burned body has been retrieved at this point in time. They're still trying to figure out the identity of the individual in question. But what we know, of course, is that the car was hired in the state of Colorado. It was then driven to Las
Our
Vegas.
defense budget is pretty gigantic.
About
it's
an
$1
hour,
trillion.
and then the bombing happened. So now there are going to be an identification process going to take place on the body to try and figure out whether this is in fact linked to the attacker, as well as what the identity of the body could possibly be, and whether there are any links to the person, Shamsuddin Jabbar, who has carried out the attacks in New Orleans. That is what investigative authorities are going to be focusing on.
You know, bringing in Gaurav on this as well. Gaurav, how long has it been since an ISIS-related attack has been reported in the United States? We know that the U.S. has clamped down on this as far as possible. This has certainly come as a shocker. The New Orleans attack certainly now has been established as an ISIS-motivated attack. It could very well likely be even this Tesla Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas connected to the same. How do you think the U.S. government is handling this? The last few days that's left for Joe Biden now.
So this will be a huge challenge for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The state police will carry out their own probe, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation will carry out a wider, bigger probe. Should these be linked, as initial reports seem to indicate, military background of the perpetrators, trucks hired from the same location, cyber trucks, electric trucks in both instances, some other links that are still under investigation. As far as Shamsuddin Jabbar is concerned, some of his superiors, they've come on social media to say that he was a very fine soldier when he served in Afghanistan. He was very diligent. He was working as a clerk with the US forces in Afghanistan. He was a very disciplined person. Point one. Point two, he was someone who actually worked in the real estate sector in the United States of America, said that his military discipline had helped him. They're trying to piece together his personality. He also worked with a consultancy called Deloitte and was earning something like $10,000 a month. He, of course, was going through a split in his personal life, was fighting a divorce, was late on payments of his credit cards, so he was in financial trouble. But what took him to the direction of radical Islamist terror is a matter of investigation. But whether you see Europe or the United States, vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, or VBIED, and vehicles going into a crowd like they did in Germany in the Christmas market and in the past. So this is a weapon of choice of radical Islamist terrorists, especially lone wolves. But in this instance, the FBI suspects there is a larger network of operatives, of terrorists who may have been involved in both these cases. But those who helped him rig the device together, the BNB where they stayed at an Airbnb. There was a fire in an Airbnb. That's a matter of investigation right now. So there are several loose ends that need to be pieced together in this investigation at this stage, Nabila.
Well, Gaurav, stay with us. We have a lot more information coming in with regards to the Cybertruck explosion. Some big news coming in. The Las Vegas police has thanked Elon Musk, Tesla founder, saying that he provided a lot more information, even much more than what the FBI has shared with them. In fact, the cops say, I have to thank Elon Musk specifically. He gave us quite a bit of additional information in regards to how the vehicle was locked after it exploded, as well as being able to capture all the videos from the Tesla charging stations across the country. Says Elon and Tesla are providing exponentially more assistance than the FBI at this point. The police, of course, thanking Elon Musk for additional help with regards to the Tesla Cybertruck explosion. Remember, Elon Musk has insisted that this is a coordinated attack, that the New Orleans attack is certainly linked with the Tesla Cybertruck explosion, as both cars were rented from Turo, a car booking app. Therefore, he's also said that the make and build of this Tesla Cybertruck, in fact, helped in ensuring that the explosion was not all the more fatal that it could have been. Because it was a Tesla vehicle, it curbed the intensity. That's what Elon Musk has said, while also helping the cops with additional information. Las Vegas police thanking Elon Musk.
Yes, actually, I have to thank Elon Musk specifically. He gave us quite a bit of additional information in regards to how the vehicle was locked after it exploded due to the force of the nature of the force from the explosion, as well as being able to capture all of the video from the Tesla charging stations across the country, and he sent that directly to us.
Shashank, if I could bring you in on this, we know that Elon Musk has insisted that this could be a coordinated attack, that both vehicles were rented from the two-row booking app, and therefore there seems to be an ISIS link even with the Las Vegas Tesla truck explosion. But give us a little more on how Elon Musk says that the Tesla the make of this Cybertruck, in fact, ensured that the intensity and the repercussion of that blast was minimized. He said a lot more about the make of that truck that helped in reducing the intensity. Even the glass panes of that hotel had not broken, thanks to the make of Tesla. He goes on to hail Tesla truck and its body. Give us a little more on that as well.
Well, yes, Elon Musk has taken this opportunity to point out that, much of the structural integrity of the Cybertruck absorbed a lot of the explosion's force when it took place. So we've talked about one person being killed. It could have been a lot worse. And of course, the sheriff of the Las Vegas police,
defense budget is
the structural design of the Tesla Cybertruck as it is prevented further destructions. You can see that, the intact glass doors of the hotel near the Cybertruck also shows that the explosion took place in front of them, but did not actually damage the glass. The force of the blast did not damage the glass in front of the hotel, showing that, in fact, the structural design of the Cybertruck helped contain the explosion, saved lives, saved material damage as well. And a lot of the credit here is given to the stainless steel exoskeleton of the Cybertruck, as well as the armor glass, which also helped deflect debris upwards. So it didn't go side out onto the streets and into the hotel. It went upwards, where, of course, it minimized damage and prevented any further loss of life, any damage to the hotel as well. So some of the credit, of course, going both by Elon Musk as well as from the chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, of the Las Vegas Police Department, to the design of the car, of the Cybertruck, that helped minimize damage, helped minimize the loss of life, as well as minimize the physical damage to public property.
Thanks very much, Shashank, for joining us with those details.